This, my friends, is the Ticwatch GTH Pro, and this in my other hand is also another GTH, but from 2021. Can you even tell them apart? Yeah, I thought so too, but if you look closely enough right below the crown though, you might notice that the Pro adopting something I haven't seen since my dad's 1987 Casio JP-100W, a sensor that requires your input rather than done automatically. And I know we're all about user engagement nowadays in the world, but is this a good thing for a watch like this? And just what kind of watch is this anyway? Well, the GTH Pro is designed for those who want to be more aware of their heart health and use the watch to help them make lifestyle choices to hit their goals. I didn't write that, it's from the brochure. So let's find out if this is something you should gear up with or not, or if you already own a current GTH, is this worth the upgrade? So let's find out after these messages. Let's do it. Let's do a quick look at the specs and watch details before jumping into the pros and cons. The GTH Pro costs $100 and that's $20 more than the regular GTH right here. And it comes only in Raven Black, so if you want more color, you're gonna have to swap out for a 20mm aftermarket strap, for example, or a skin or something. The screen is a 1.55-inch TFT LCD. There's 5 ATM water resistance, so it's good enough for swimming. There's 14 sports modes with auto tracking for walking and running even. But that's so far identical with the older GTH. But I want to flip these on their backs here and you can see the sensor arrays. So the framing and the thickness and everything, the weight are pretty much identical. Aluminum bodies, TPU straps and all. And both of these have very comprehensive sensor packages, including heart saturation or SpO2, body temperature, heart rate, and so on. In the older model, the PPG sensor is right here built in, but in the newer one, they've moved this to the side, as you can see right here. And this is one of their biggest selling points with this newer watch. And they've combined it with a platform called Arty. And these together help monitor your heart health supposedly, and like how much stress your heart has or arterial health and all that. And I'll talk more about that in a bit. I'm not sure what kind of glass protection the Pro has. It's not mentioned in any of the literature, but just for reference, I've used the older GTH for like say 6 months now, and as you can see, not a single lick on it, so they're pretty darn hardy. In terms of battery life, they're rated at 10 days from the factory. I've gone closer to like almost 9 days, so that's not bad, pretty close with all notifications and all features turned on. Quite similar to the regular GTH, the Pro carries sensors like up the yin-yang, guys. Like earlier, we were talking about the side-mounted PPG sensor, and in the array back here, we have skin temperature, wear detection, heart rate, SpO2, and respiration sensors. It's really quite the caboodle. Now, accuracy is not medical grade, of course, which is normal for these kind of watches, but they do serve as consistent guides. They're not accurate, but at least they're consistent. And here's why I think so. Step count is maybe 1 or 2 steps off for every 10 steps, which is pretty darn nice. And heart rate is around 3 to 4 beats per minute off compared to manual reading. So yeah, the great thing is the readings don't sway wildly all over the place. Now, the only things that need improving, in my opinion, are like the accuracy of activity tracking outside of basic walking, short runs, or cycling. Like the gyro sensor and CPU can only capture so much information, because any activity with more complex or varied motions, like skip roping for example, throws the watch off and becomes not really dependable. And I'll talk more about something related to this in the negatives. The other thing is sleep tracking, in which it can vary between a half hour off one night and 1.4 hours the next. One great thing about what is essentially a fitness tracker is that it can afford to be slim and light. Like with this on, guys, it's almost as if you're not wearing anything at all. It's really very refreshing, especially after wearing bulkier watches like the Pro 3 Ultra or the Kuros Vertex 2. I think, guys, this will be ideal for those with slimmer wrists, or even your kids. Say if you don't want to buy an Apple Watch and watch them lose it or shatter the screen in like, hold on, 3, 2, 1, yeah, right about now. The battery lasts easily a whole week, which is better since this is an RTOS watch, which means it's not driven by battery hogs like Wear OS or Apple Watch OS. Now, if you charge it up to 100% with unfortunately yet another non-standard charging cable, you're looking at 8.9 days running time with notifications turned on, screen at medium brightness, a tracked 30-minute workout per day using Arty, and all the sensors running in the background. You know, there's just something about the simplicity of the entire package. And sure, some will find it too basic, but for some, it's just the right amount of tech with just the right amount of speediness, with just the right amount of connectivity at just the right price point. As Juan Bagnall said in his review of this watch, this thing needs more computer. And it's not just that the UI feels as slow as molasses in January.
Slower than the molasses in January.
It operates in a rather standard fare sort of way. Nothing truly makes it stand out from the crowd. The UI, the user experience, everything feels the same. There's nothing meaningful you can do with notifications. It would have been nice to have some kind of ovulation/period tracking or some kind of added capacity for deeper activity routines like setting workout reps or calculating step cadences and the like. Now, unfortunately, I have a couple of issues with Arty, the brand new Ticwatch Heart Healthy portal that at the same time kind of reminds me of Clippy from Windows. It's an ambitious system, no doubt, but to me, Arty feels like a let's throw it out there and see if it sticks kind of deal. But first impressions is everything. Within the watch itself anyway, when you first power it on and start using it, Arty seems disjointed from the rest of the watch experience, the UX, the UI. On the Mobvoi app itself, it's great. The data from Arty and Tic Health, they all tabulate on one page. But on the watch itself, it's just disjointed or feels like it's beta or something. For example, in the applet section, Tic Health sits separately from Arty. And I can understand they wanted Arty as front and center, a separate piece so people can spot it. But why didn't they put it at the top of the list? And in terms of widgets, you have everything for a lot of the functions, most of the health functions, if not all, except for Arty. It's not there. I'm not sure if they're gonna do this with a firmware update or something, but that's a huge miss. A major part of what makes Arty work is the side-mounted PPG sensor that, for some reason, on this unit anyway, can never seem to take my reading. And you're probably wondering, yeah, Aaron, how bad can it be? Sensors do that, they're unreliable sometimes. Well, how about this? I can sit here 20 times with my finger on a sensor and it'll probably take my reading maybe once or twice. That's how bad it is. And maybe I have a faulty unit, or maybe I have poor arterial health in my digits, therefore the sensor can't take a reading at all. Which means I'm dying, guys. Yes, it's been nice knowing y'all. But anyways, in all seriousness, this has me flummoxed because do I have a faulty unit? Or I've also read somewhere that depending on your age, finger readings may not be accurate or not readable at all. So as it is, I'll rather have the fire and forget PPG sensor on the regular GTH rather than sit here and figure out if I have the right amount of pressure on the sensor and covering the light just right, or if I'm sitting or standing still enough. By far the biggest problem I have, no, it's not with speed or with Arty, it's the lack of GPS. Yes, I know you can track your outdoor workouts if you use the GPS on your phone while you pair it with the Mobvoi app, but sometimes I prefer to leave my phone at home. So firstly, what I like to see is I need a fitness tracker that can assess distance, speed, and altitude of my daily runs, my bike rides, or my hikes beyond what the gyro motion sensors can do, as I mentioned earlier. They have their limitations, and as a fitness watch that wants us to get out there and improve our heart health among other things, more data helps. Secondly, it's 2022, a GPS module should be standard issue by now. Cause how's this for salt on the wound? The OG Amazfit Bip, remember that video that I did? Had GPS way back in 2018. Think about that for a second. If there are two takeaways that you can take away after watching this video, is that A, the GTH Pro is a well-built, technically sound fitness tracker from one of the best smartwatch makers available right now. And at the same time, it's a great starter fitness watch if you so choose. B, the GTH Pro unfortunately barely moves the needle compared to the cheaper GTH. And the self-service PPG sensor is also a pain in the butt to use. And truth be told, Ticwatch can do a whole lot better than this. So with all that said, I'm going to give the Ticwatch GTH Pro a GearUP score of 7.4 out of 10. And this is how I broke it down to get the final score. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. Before I go, guys, thank you for being here and for checking this video out. You could have been doing something else, but you decided to drop by here. And if you like the stuff that I do mash the subscribe button down below to help me get you more of the latest stuff to review. I'm often asked if I just do earbuds and headphones, and yeah, sure, I do a lot of that stuff, but GearUP is all about tech. You know, phones, watches, smart home gadgets, and the like. So let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see the next time. Yes. Thumbs up if you like this video, and also thank you to my Patreons for helping me fund this channel. And also remember to do something kind and loving for somebody in this world, because guess what, guys? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. And remember to pray for the Ukrainians and for peace on earth. I love y'all, and this is Aaron signing out. Adios.